Hey everyone, welcome back to the Always Closing podcast. Today I have my buddy in, and it's a real special treat for you guys because this guy has been killing it lately. So I'm excited to have Jose Rojas with RSC Pools in today.
What's up? Hey.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me. I know we've chatted about it.
Yeah, I was excited to get you in here.
Yeah.
I think you're going to have a lot of good nuggets for people today. So
Yeah.
let's get into it.
Let's do it.
So people who may not know who you are, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background, how you got into your business, and tell us what your business is.
Sure. Okay, so my name is Jose Rojas, for those of you guys that don't know me, obviously. I own a general contracting construction company. I'm 26 years old. How I got into it, it's my dad and my family has always been in construction growing up. So when I was like 7, 8 years old, all the way up until I was like 18.
I was already in the business.
Yeah, I would go work with my dad and family members like every summer. So that's just how I kind of gotten into it. It hasn't been one of those things that I originally was like super passionate about.
Yeah.
But as time went on, I got, pretty good at doing some of the actual trade. Mm-hmm. But then as I got older, I really doubled down on more of like the business
side of it,
marketing, all that stuff.
Right.
And yeah, that's kind of what's been the biggest driving factor of growth. But that's essentially how I got started into it, just my family.
Yeah, same here. I mean, when we started Westlake Escrow, my mom started the company, 23 years ago now. Oh. And I started kind of getting involved with them or here, like in high school, doing little things here and there. But after high school, even when I was going through college, I started just little by little, more and more. I know you know me more from the media side, but this is our family business. And so I've been doing a little bit more and more here over the years. So
yeah, that's very cool. Yeah.
What were some of the challenges? I mean, so this business, is it the same business that your dad's always worked in, or did you start your own?
No, so I actually started my own. Okay. So my dad has been in the industry for over like 30 years, and a lot of my family as well. So they have a lot of the knowledge, but as like most like Hispanic and Latinos, they weren't the most business savvy people.
Right.
So they would always work for other contractors or other companies who actually had their licenses and their paperwork in order.
Right.
So I graduated college last year, and I really made it my goal to get my general contractor's license and my pool construction license for the state of California. So I had to figure out all of the paperwork and incorporation side with the licenses, insurances, and bonds. So as soon as I got all the paperwork in order, then I initially launched of like, hey, let me start running some ads and let me start building out this whole social media brand to be able to attract more clients. And that was kind of the easier part. It's been a big help, like I said, since my dad has been in the industry for so long. He knows lot of connections and a lot of people who we've been able to hire and help grow our business. But
it's like having like a human encyclopedia kind of, right? Like, yeah. I mean, same here. There's so many things that I don't even know, even though I've been in this business a long time, that you could just like call my mom up and be like, hey, what do I do in this situation,
Of course.
So it's very cool to have that resource.
Yeah.
So did you have any challenges when you started the business? I mean, it's super cool that you're talking about like a year or two ago. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because people, I think, that got to your point have been in a lot longer than that. So you definitely had some pretty quick success.
Yeah.
But did you have any challenges when you started it up?
Well, I've had challenges kind of my whole life throughout business. This is probably, I would say, like the 6th business I've started and that I've probably seen the most success in so far. Mm-hmm. I think with this whole general contracting construction stuff, a lot of my clients are way older than me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm 26 years old. So a lot of these homeowners and clients that we do have and that we do work with, they're like 40, 50, 60 years old. So a lot of people, not a lot of people, it doesn't really happen so much anymore, but in the beginning, it's just the credibility and the trust. And they would say like, hey, can this 26-year-old or can this 20-something-year-old kid actually build this $300,000, $400,000 construction project? And I think when you kind of see it from their point of view,
it makes sense.
It makes
sense. A lot
of
money.
Right? So when I started seeing those challenges, I was like, man, people don't trust me. There's no credibility, even though I had my dad and we would go to the job sites together. So what really took everything to the next level was just building a whole social media brand and putting everything on YouTube and TikTok, Instagram Shorts, basically all the short form social media platforms, because I don't even really have to say much anymore. Homeowners are just like, oh, I saw your page, or I saw all your previous work, and I saw you guys have done this project, this project, this project, and I even checked out some of your YouTube stuff. So I think just the whole social media thing has given me like this uplift of, hey, I have like, they almost view it as I have 30 years of experience, when in fact I really only have probably a third of that since I started when I was like really young. So,
yeah. So it sounds like the social media was really the game changer, right?
Oh yeah.
Would you say like there was one project in specific that maybe you got or that you completed that you said, okay, now I feel like I'm onto something now?
Yeah, so it happened last year in February, like the beginning of 2024. So I was in college, right? And I got fired from my internship, and it was my senior year of college. I got fired from my internship December 2023. So I go home and I'm telling my dad, I'm like, hey dad, I kind of effed up. I got fired from my internship. I'm graduating in 6 months.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell am I going to do? So I got home and I'm like, hey, please teach me how to read blueprints, engineering plans, because he had a bunch of past engineering sets from previous projects he's completed. And basically, I wanted to learn as much as I could about the whole business side and engineering and all of that. But I got a mentor because I knew I had no other option. I wasn't going to get a job. I wasn't going to be able to work at a company because I had no previous corporate experience and internships on my resume or anything like that. So that was kind of out the window. And again, I think I've always just viewed myself as an entrepreneur, and I'm like, hey, I've worked at previous places before. I think I worked at a gym and like a retail store, but I've always wanted to start my own business. But kind of going back to that, I was in this point of desperation and I had no idea how I was going to even start this business, how I was going to grow, how I was going to get projects. So I hired a mentor, and one of my mentors basically said, hey, are you on social media? Are you on Google? Are you on Yelp? Are you on all these platforms where homeowners people will find you? And I was like, no, I'm not. And he's like, well, there's your first problem. So dude, I made a Google page, I made a Yelp account, I did the most basic stuff, right? The simplest of things. And I spent a weekend going to some of my dad's previous projects that we've done. But my dad has done these beautiful, huge construction projects, and we've done a lot of them, but the problem was he wasn't uploading them anywhere. So like they kind of didn't exist because they weren't online. So I spent a weekend driving and going to previous projects and taking photos and meeting with the homeowner, and I would like clean up the backyard myself. I would move stuff, and dude, the most simple iPhone photos, I was just uploading them, and I put a description like new pool, new outdoor living project we completed. And I think within the first 30 days of doing that, I got like 10 leads on Yelp, and out of those 10 leads, I closed my first $100,000 remodel in San Diego, and I was shocked because that was my first project. So when I made the Yelp account, I uploaded some photos. Somebody found us through there. We went to meet them. It was me and my dad because I didn't really know too much of what was going on. And now, I have a whole sales team and I do the sales myself, or I oversee sales. But in the beginning, we kind of figured out what she was looking for. And then my dad was like, oh, okay, we can do this, we can do that. And I was just listening. But basically, I built out a full proposal that I got from my mentor. He's like, hey, build it like this, pitch it like this, and sell it like this. And we gave her the proposal, and like 2 weeks later, she called me and she's like, hey, we want to move forward. And it was like $15,000 project. I don't remember off the top of my head. But I think that moment when she said she was ready to move forward, I was like, something clicked in my brain. I was like, wow. Like if this one person said yes off of some basic social media iPhone pictures on Yelp, like how many projects and how high ticket of projects can I land if I actually start like trying, of doing higher quality content. And I think just completing that first project is what got everything going for me, because that's when everything kind of just clicked.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And with your social media, do you, because I really kind of want to dig into that, because I know, like you said, that's really was the game changer for you. And I know it's the leading source of business for you. Can you share with us some strategy that you have for social media? So just to give you a little bit more of a background, we're mainly a real estate focused like podcast. So a lot of the people I interview here is like realtors, lenders, title people, things like that. But I've been trying to go more into just any different type of business that's really successful, right? So I try to bring in people that have a lot to share when it comes to social media strategy or sales strategy. So what is some strategy that you've applied on social media that can really apply to anybody that's running some type of business?
I think what I've seen a lot of people not doing, I think when I try to analyze a market and I try to see why they're succeeding and why they're not succeeding, you basically need to see what a lot of your competitors aren't doing. Because in the beginning, I would see what my competitors were doing, and they were kind of doing like just basic, the bare minimum. They were posting like one project or a couple videos like a month, like 2-3 videos a month at most.
Yeah.
So I have a background in social media. Like that was one of my first businesses. I started a social media marketing agency years ago. You know, I've had a bunch of other business ventures since then. But I've taken all those skills that I've learned in those previous ventures and applied it to this one. And I saw that a lot of other construction companies weren't basically showing the day-to-day activities of the process of, hey, here's day 1, here's day 30, and here's the completed project. So I thought about it and I was like, if you can show homeowners like the rawness, the authenticity that goes behind doing, the behind the scenes stuff, that will actually be one of the biggest game changers in your business. Because I mean, sales 101, people don't buy from businesses, people buy from people.
Right.
And if you can make social media content showing the people behind the business and the behind the scenes of what goes into it, but not just what goes into it, the people that are in the business and client interactions and subcontractor interactions, like that's real. That's raw.
Yeah.
It's authentic.
And I think that works in B2C like you, where you're dealing directly with the customers.
Yep.
And like in our business, a lot of times it's dealing B2B, where, the escrow company with realtors or lenders or whatever, right? But it works the same. You want to do business with people that you like.
Yeah.
So I think that helps bring that across.
Yeah. And what I notice is that most of the people that I'm competing with in this industry, same thing. It's a very old industry, construction, trade work. So there's not that much creativity of, hey, here's what's new, here's what works for clicks and eyeballs and views.
Yeah.
And they never really see that. I mean, there's 2 reasons for it, because a lot of people are older, but then also a lot of business owners are stuck in the business that they can't really oversee and be like, okay, what am I doing or what am I not doing to grow? So they're basically stuck working in the business, not on the business.
Right.
And yeah, I think I saw that I was competing with a lot of guys who are twice my age. And, in Hispanic culture, it's like a very big machismo thing of like, oh, I don't want to be on camera. I don't want to like film. I don't want to talk to a camera because it feels very inauthentic, or like that's like a girl's thing, girl, like being on camera, it's a girl's thing. So I think I've just used that to my advantage. And I've saw a bunch of other people that just don't want to make content. They don't want to go on camera. And I feel like that's just been our biggest advantage, is just, hey, showing the rawness and the authenticity, not only behind the day-to-day activities of the construction projects, but also the people and the client interactions that goes into it. So,
have you seen that there's a platform specifically for your industry that's giving you the most results, or are you just blasting it everywhere?
I think, so our strategy is we're all on all social media platforms, or not all of them, but I just think
the main ones,
YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. But I think the main one has been Instagram. Okay. A lot of older, I think a lot of Gen Z, millennials, and Gen X, they're on Instagram. Some of them are on TikTok. Like me, myself, I use TikTok.
Yeah.
But the only reason I use TikTok now is just for business purposes. I don't really scroll too much on it. I find myself doing that more on Instagram. So I think, Instagram is probably the most powerful platform, but I would say that you shouldn't just focus on that one. If you're going to make the short form videos for Instagram, just redistribute them to YouTube and TikTok, because it's not that much more difficult. You already have the video made.
Exactly. Can you give us 3 ideas for content? Let's say someone wants to step up their social media game. What are 3 pieces of content that have worked for you?
So 3 pieces of content that have worked for me is, I think what a lot of people do is they use social media as a highlight reel just to show all the good, all the wins, or like, hey, look how much money I made. Look at this $1 million project I completed, or look at me. People use social media as
In our industry, it's like close this deal, or open escrow, or whatever, right? And I feel like it becomes really repetitive.
A lot of the stuff that has worked for me is also just showing the lowlights of like, hey, we made this $50,000 mistake. We made this $80,000 mistake because it's negative, And the way social media and human psychology works is that people like to spread negativity more than positivity. So in theory, if you make a video or if you have some piece of content with maybe some negative connotation towards it, it's going to drive more shares, more clicks, more eyeballs because, I don't know, people just are psychologically rooted in enjoying drama and watching bad things unfold.
Right.
Yeah, so that's one of them. I think if you want to make some content, don't always focus on the highlights. Don't always focus on the wins. Show some, hey, I effed up here, but here's how we're going to correct it. And I think another piece of content or another style that has worked for me really well is kind of like going back to what I said, is just showing the authenticity. So I guess in your case, if you guys are doing escrow, show the process of, hey, this is the day the client, this is the day we got in contact with the client all the way until you guys close escrow. So I think showing that whole phase, it gives homeowners more of a sense of certainty and authenticity because like I said, like if they see you on camera or if they see your team on camera, they're going to be like, wow, I want to work with this person because they were able to deliver this result and they look really cool. They look like the expert. They look really friendly. So therefore they want to do business with Westlake Escrow. But I mean, you could apply that strategy to almost any business.
Right. Yeah. And what would you say is really keeping you consistent on making content, especially someone like you, right? You're running a business, you're doing sales, you're checking on your projects, all these things, right? And how do you also stay consistent in shooting content in between all of that?
I mean, dude, it's a lot of work. I think you have to just pay somebody to do it. You have to outsource it because like I said, I had this really bad mentality when I first started business. I have a background in content creation, copywriting, ads, scripting, all of that. So when I first started my business, I was like, wait, I have all these skills. Like I know how to take photos. Like I know how to make a video. I know how to edit a video. So why am I going to pay somebody? Why don't I just handle it myself? And then I started getting pretty busy in business and I had to focus on the big tasks of like, hey, I'm closing $100,000, $300,000, $500,000 projects, like the things that really move the needle forward. So I think it was a big mindset shift of just having a whole content team. So I have a whole content team. We pick one day out of the week. They come and they shoot a video. They shoot videos on one day at 1 or 2 project sites, and then they have content for that whole upcoming week. And it's just been the cycle that we've been doing for months. So I think the best way to stay consistent in simple terms is to just pay somebody else to do it. Yeah. And in the beginning, it's really hard.
So do you mean like someone to film you, to edit it, to post it, that sort of thing?
Yeah.
Because you obviously have to make the time to be on camera.
Exactly.
But you're saying all the back work.
Yeah.
Okay.
It becomes easier because I was already going to be on site either way. So it's just, hey, let's get a guy who knows how to film, edit, ideation. This dude helps me out with a ton of ideation. Yeah. So you have to get somebody who really understands social media and editing and content creation because when our video team comes out, he's like, hey, I have some ideas for some videos I want to do, and I just listen to them and I run with it. So it makes it a little bit easier for me because I've been making content for years. So whenever he pitches me an idea, I have some understanding of like, okay, I can say this, I can tweak this, or I can, point my body this way in front of the camera. So I understand those things as well, but you don't need to be like super successful. Just hire somebody who does everything for you.
Right. Yeah. Smart. What are some future goals for RSC?
So some future goals for RSC. As of right now, I want to just kind of continue scaling the company. I mean, right now we do full pools, outdoor living projects, landscape, hardscape. Eventually, I want to transition into full luxury development and full luxury construction. So I'm a real estate developer as well. Like I buy vacant lands and then get engineering, get architectural plans, get permits, and build on them myself. But that's more kind of like a private equity venture that I've self-funded.
Right.
It hasn't been something that I've started offering as a service for clients. But eventually, I do want to take RSC to being one of the biggest general contracting or biggest luxury construction company in all of California.
That's great. I mean, it's good to put big goals out there and map it how you're going to do it, right? So,
if your goals if your goals aren't big enough, if your goals aren't scaring you, they're just not big enough.
Yeah. Would you say that part of it is also growing your team? Because I know last time we talked, you said that you were booked out so far that you can't even really take on more projects right now, which is a great problem to have. So would you say growing your team a little bit bigger would help with that so that you can take on more projects?
Of course, yeah. I think growing the team, that would be something that would be great to do, and I can do it. But I also really have to like take a third person perspective and like a third person overview of it. And I have to understand that I'm still really young.
Yeah.
So can I grow like super fast, and can we be doubling the size of the projects that we're doing like tomorrow? Yes, but it's going to come at a cost. There's still a lot of stuff that happens in the day-to-day activities that I don't know how to handle exactly, but I know where to find the resource or the guidance to be able to take on those challenges. So there is instances where sometimes I bite off more than I can chew. And I feel like if I do scale RSC right now, especially just having started the company like 18 months ago, I'm going to run into a lot of problems. So I think my case is I don't want to I do want to like make a ton of money as soon as possible, but at the same time, I care more about long-term sustainability and how long we can actually sustain that level of growth for. And a lot of the people on my team, they're really young. So at the same time, we're all just growing and we're all learning. So I think my biggest priority is to make sure that they have a solid foundation and they understand the project management. They understand the sales, the designing, the marketing, all the intricacies that go into the day-to-day activities that have made us successful right now. I want them to just really get more reps in and understand it very well, because once they do, then I can hire 3 or 4 more people and have one of my project managers train them, and then hire 3 or 4 more people and then have another project manager train them, and then we scale 3 to 5 times as fast. So
yeah, that's really smart, because a lot of people, will get excited about the growth, about the business, and some people will scale too fast and it could be to the detriment. So yeah, it's a really smart way to approach it. Tell us a little bit about, now you're starting to get into coaching as well, right?
Yeah.
So what made you switch over to coaching? I know probably a lot of people see you on social media and they have a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Was that part of what sparked the idea?
Yeah, basically. So I launched a whole consulting offer. So it's called MCB, or Millionaire Contractor Blueprint. It stands for MCB, and it's basically a lot of my back-end systems of sales, follow-up, and marketing, which is like the super juicy stuff that a lot of people have trouble with.
Yeah.
I think people are good at following up, but a big gap that I've noticed in the space is a lot of contractors or a lot of business owners just suck at sales and they suck at marketing. And I feel like I've been able to kind of crack the code on that really quickly.
Yeah.
So it only made sense to start just to package some consulting offer together to teach other people, because dude, I make YouTube videos about my ad strategies, my marketing campaigns, and I make vlogs of like the day-to-day activities that go on in my companies and how I run stuff and, giving game and all that. And I've had so many people email me, DM me, and they're like, dude, I would love to like learn from you. I would love to get some hands-on one-on-one coaching with either you or your team. And it kind of just naturally gravitated towards launching a consulting offer and teaching other people in my space how I've been able to grow my company as quick as we have.
Would you say that's the main lesson or main focus on your coaching is really the sales and marketing side?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%.
So is that normally kind of like the game changer for people? It's like if you fix this, you're going to see a huge difference in your business?
Yeah, it's not just for, I think, any business.
Yeah.
It's not just construction. If you understand the 4 like core principles in any business, which is copywriting, one-to-one sales, paid advertising, and market to product, you will make a lot of money in any business. So I think if you, I've seen so many business owners, and even one of my mentors said this, Alex Becker, that you can have a shitty product, you can have a bad service, you can have, there's these entrepreneurs that are all over the place, but they still make a lot of money because they're good at marketing and sales. And I've seen it so time and time again. I've seen other entrepreneurs, other business owners in other spaces, in my spaces, and I'm just like, man, how are these guys making so much money when all of this other stuff is just all over the place? And it comes down to they got really good at sales and marketing.
Yeah. So would you say that is that one of the main things that you're teaching is really focus on sales and marketing to really make the biggest impact on their businesses?
Yeah, because like I said, I feel like I've cracked the code to sales and marketing, and I think the bloodline of any business is being really good at those 2 things.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I've noticed other construction business owners or general contractors, they're really good at doing the trade, they're really good at their work, but they just are horrible at marketing and sales. And I am fairly decent, I think, at marketing and sales. So yeah, I think I've just taken my skill set and put it online and shown other people, hey, I'm young. I just started this business a year ago, but
and look at where I'm at.
yeah, because of my sales and marketing. So
exactly.
Yeah, I think just any business owners, you're going to make a lot of money if you focus on those 2 key elements. Like I've seen a lot of other business owners, and I analyze a lot of business owners, and I'm like, man, how do these guys make as much money as they do? They're kind of like stupid, or they're dumb, or they're all over the place in this one part of their business, or they're super unorganized. But it comes down to they're just good at sales and marketing. And I think that's what one of my mentors says, that you can have a bad product, you can have a bad service, you can be super unorganized in your business, but as long as you're good at sales and marketing, you're going to print money.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of the starting point, right? Because if you get enough business coming in, then you can focus on, I think, on the other 3 main parts of that make a business successful. To me is sales and marketing number 1, but also is going to be your team. Also going to be the systems you have in place. And ultimately the owner, or you yourself, is a big part of running a business as well. But I think if you have the business coming in, then it's easier to fix the other 3 things. So what would you say is in the lifespan of your business so far, what's been the biggest lesson that has helped you grow the most and had the biggest impact on you so far?
The biggest lesson that has helped me grow the most and has had the biggest impact so far, I think, is just falling in love with just doing the work and not really expecting anything out of it. I think I'm somebody who's always had low expectations. I have really high standards, but I have very low expectations of just outcomes with people and clients and all of that. But that has just allowed me to just fall in love with the craft and learning and working. So getting back to that, I think the biggest thing is just fall in love with doing the work. Because if you just do the work and you're not even thinking about the outcome of making money or getting this amount of new clients, or I'm gonna have this really cool video or presentation on social media or anything like that, you're gonna experience like the most growth. Like when I first started my business, dude, I was like ramming my head into a wall. I was working like 12, 16-hour days, and I was trying to learn as much as I could because I was genuinely having fun, you know?
Right.
It's kind of like you start a video game and you're unlocking all these new levels, you know, you make your first $1,000, then you make your first $10,000, and at that point you don't even care about the money anymore. You're just so excited with the growth and everything that you're seeing that you just want to keep going, and then the money and all of that is irrelevant. But the funny thing is if you focus on the things that drive not only your personal growth but your clients, if you're making sure that you're taking care of your clients and you're not really trying to fight with them over like a couple, you know, all these little mistakes, and if you just handle it, they're going to be so satisfied, and they're going to just refer you to more clients and refer you to more people, therefore making you more money.
Right.
So
yeah, it's a nice feeling when like you get to that point where you get really excited about your business, where you're like, I can't wait for it to be tomorrow already, because I got to work on this and that. And I think when you get to that point, like you're saying, you're not thinking so much about the money. You get excited about what's next for your business.
Dude, like I still remember when I was in college, my rent was like $1,000 a month, and I was stupid and I got like a sports car, so my car payment was like $1,000 a month plus like $200 of insurance. So dude, I was spending like $2,000 a month, and I was going to college, so I was like working like 40 hours a week, and I was working just to pay my rent and my car, and I was so focused on like, I need to make more money to pay these things. And the funny thing is, like, the more I chased money and the more I wanted to make just strictly, and the more I just focused on making money during that period, the less money I actually had.
Yeah. Okay. And last question that I always usually ask my guests is, what are some pieces of advice that you would give to anybody that's either starting a new business or struggling in their business right now? What's some pieces of advice that you would say would instantly make them see a difference?
I mean, dang, there's a million pieces of advice I could give, but if I had to pick just one, it would probably be double down on getting good at sales and marketing. Okay. Because you're always going to be able to use those two skills in any business or any area of your life. I think if you're somebody who knows they want to start a business, but they might not necessarily know what type of business they want to start or what service they want to offer, go watch some free YouTube videos about one-on-one sales and marketing, because those two things, you need to be good at them. As a business owner, every single business owner, every successful business owner, I'll say, is good at sales and marketing. So if you eventually see yourself becoming a successful business owner, might as well just start focusing on getting good at sales and marketing now. So when you actually figure out what service you want to offer or what business you want to build, you already have those two skills.
Yeah, I mean, I love it, because that's what's going to drive the business. And you could be opposite to what you said earlier. You could be the greatest chef or whatever, you know, profession that you have, but if you can't sell any of it, it's not going to matter, right?
Exactly.
I mean, like you said, you could be the worst, but if you're good at sales, you'll have a business.
Oh yeah. It's weird the way the world works.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, is there anything else you want to leave us with? Maybe where people can find you, or people want to reach out to you, maybe for coaching. Where can they find you?
Yeah, if you guys want to follow my personal social media page, I posted a lot of like business stuff on there. I mean, I'm really into books, so I post a lot of the books that I'm reading on there. You guys can follow me at Jose Rojas. It's J0SEROJAS. Or I mean, you guys can check out my YouTube channel. It's just Jose Rojas. I post a lot of my business content on there, my day-to-day activities of what we do and the behind the scenes.
And your business page is RSC Pools, right?
Yeah, one of my business pages is RSC Pools. Yeah, on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, there you guys go. A lot of good information today from Jose. And I appreciate you coming in. A lot of good nuggets that you threw in there. And hopefully we'll do it again.
Dude, yeah, just let me know and we'll run around too.
Appreciate it, bro.
Dude,
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, man.
We'll see you guys in the next one.